Hello everyone, my name is Lowko and welcome to some more Legacy of the Void. Today we're gonna take a look at the new Protoss unit called the Disruptor that will get added in the alpha and the beta and the actual game release of Legacy of the Void in the very near future. For anyone wondering what I'm currently playing, this is going to be a fan-made alpha that you can check out yourself as well in the StarCraft 2 arcade moderator, that sort of thing. I don't know exactly what it's called, but anyways, today we're gonna take a look at the Disruptor, which is the new Protoss unit that got added in Legacy of the Void. And I'll be honest in saying that it is the only Protoss unit that got added in Legacy of the Void, and they got sort of the shorter end of the stick as far as the initial changes goes. But like, you know, like always, they are still pre-alpha changes, so there are definitely going to be changes for sure. Blizzard even came out and saying that they might even add another Protoss unit, because like I said, you know, they only have one new one in the Disruptor, and we're gonna take a look at that one today. So, I'm currently playing against an easy Zerg opponent, an easy AI, so it's not going to be the most difficult thing, and I plan on messing a couple of these new units. Now, getting the Disruptor out, first and foremost, is going to already take you a little while, okay? They don't just require a robotics facility, but they also require a robotics base. So that means they are on the same tech as the Colossus. And honestly, the couple of games where I tried out this unit, I feel like in most situations I would have been, you know, better off with a Colossus, because the unit is very, very expensive in the amount of gas and minerals that it costs. And like I said, it does overlap with the Colossus, meaning that in most situations, I think most people would rather want the Colossus just because it has a lot more utility and it's a lot stronger in your army overall. But we'll go over that in a second. So, like I said, I'm gonna try and rush them out as soon as I possibly can. Already got my double gas guys going on very early on. And I'm gonna just try and show you at what minute you can really get these units out, because it will take a little bit of time. Now, the Disruptor specialty, I think it is going to be in the sense that it can either, like, backstab an army. We'll go over, by the way, exactly what it does in a second. Or it can be very useful for drops. Now, what the Disruptor basically is, it is a big mine that is not invisible, but you can just see it all the time. However, once you actually activate its ability, it will explode after a couple of seconds, dealing a lot of damage in a little blast radius. So that's one of the main things right there. Gotta go for the robotics facility next, by the way. But that's basically the idea. It does AoE damage in a little circle around the unit, and while that little circle is going on, you basically need to wait a little bit, and after a little while it explodes and does a bunch of AoE damage, and I believe it has a 30-second cooldown, which is pretty solid as well. But I think the main use of it's going to be either drops or like harassment sort of things. Let's say my main army is over here with a bunch of Colossus. I can try and run the Disruptors around and like surround the Terran army and deal a lot of damage like that. But other than that, you know, like, it's a splash damage unit. There is a robotics bay that you need as a requirement, and it also just you know, it's also made out of the robotics facility, so it seems very, very similar, in my opinion, to the robotics bay. But we'll see it in a second. So I'm still making it right now. This is the robotics facility in production, making a second robotics facility right now as well. And right now I'm finally going to be able to start up my robotics bay, and then eventually we will be able to make the Disruptor right there. It's a powerful area control unit, and, you know, honestly, it's pretty similar to the Colossus. Now, the one thing you can also do with it, which is going to be pretty interesting, is actually put it in a war prism. And obviously, war prisms make the unit way more mobile, which is sweet. But then again, why would you not just make an Oracle? So I'm a little bit on the brink as far as the Disruptor goes, because it just has a lot of overlap with other Protoss units that are already in the game, you know? Second robotics facility just now finishing up. Robotics base still in production. And I actually got my natural going on as well. And I'll actually show you the War Prism play as well. Now, the unit does not have a basic attack, okay? So the unit is basically stuck with the attack it initially has. But here we go. We can finally make two of these babies. There are 100 minerals and 300 gas, guys. Now, if anyone wondering about Protoss, Protoss is the one race that needs a ton of gas to really make any useful units, and 300 gas is an insane amount. The Colossus, for example, only takes 200, which makes this unit very, very, very expensive. Now, what might be happening is that you maybe go for like a double Corruptor drop into Colossus. That would be a pretty cool switch, I suppose. But other than that, I don't really see that being a main part of the army anytime soon. So, they're about to pop out. Come on, boys. We need you. I can't even double produce them off 2 bases. That's actually kind of funny. Alright, so here we go. Now, they are kind of slow, as you can see. You know, they are just not very fast. But when you activate the ability that basically makes them invulnerable for 4 seconds and then explodes, they actually get a speed boost. So as you can see right there, They get a speed boost, and then they explode, and obviously now my opponent could kill it again. But the specialty of this unit is, let's say, like a little Terran group walks right here. I can, like, rush in with the unit, explode, because right now I'm invulnerable, and then go back right away. And it does deal a lot of splash damage. It's actually 120 damage in a small area group, and for example, Zerglings will basically die about 3 times in that little circle. Now let's actually move across the map and check out if we can find any Protoss unit or any Zerg units and see if we can get anything done with these guys. But they're definitely not a unit that is meant for like moving out on the map with, because you know they're just not really made for that. They don't have a basic attack. Like I can't really attack with them. They don't do anything. They just hug each other when you attack move. So you know they just don't really do a lot of damage like that. It's actually one scouting Zergling. Now one important thing to note is that this unit does deal friendly fire. So, I'll actually show you it with this one that's about to pop right now. Gonna send this one straight into my mineral line. Now, for any Protoss players, I would highly recommend that you close your eyes for a second, because this is kind of dirty. So, I'm gonna activate the ability here. It's gonna explode. Ooh. See? So, it does deal friendly fire as well. So, if you're gonna do, like, Disruptor, Zealot play or something, you gotta be very, very careful. But here we go, let's go. So let's see if we can kill some Zerg units with this. Oh, he hasn't even expended yet. sick Zerg play over here. Alright. Alright, activating the abilities. I actually wonder if they do friendly fire to each other. No, they don't. But right now, look, I killed the Zerglings. But now I'm sort of like stuck right here, because I don't really have very much use after this. They could easily chase me down. I can actually try and suicide one of these guys up there, see if I can actually kill the Roach army. Now, important to note though, is that they do become invulnerable for a little while. Ooh, almost, oh no, look, don't die. Alright, here we go. Gotta run! And I lost the 300 mineral, or the 100 minerals and the 300 gas right there. Now, one nice thing that this unit does have though, is that it's very, very strong when it comes to warp prisms, okay? I'm gonna show you one in a warp prism, and you can put 2 in there. And I honestly think this is one of the main uses, besides the surrounding that I talked about earlier. Basically what you can do, you put these guys in a warp prism, and just sort of do a lot of damage with them that way. Which is kind of sweet. Now, they do benefit from ground upgrade and the plasma shields upgrade as well, but they don't really get anything done as far as you know, attack upgrades go. They don't actually do very much with that. You can get the armor, you can get the other one as well, but other than that, there's not too much use. So here we go. I can put 2 of these guys into a warp prism, and I can actually try and do a little bit of harassment here. I can try and basically nuke down a mineral line as soon as possible. But like I said, this feels like it's very overlapping with the Oracle, because the Oracle is also very good at like harassing mineral lines or whatnot. And then you have a little bit more diversity in tech. But maybe you can go for War Prism, double Disruptor, drop into Colossus play or something. But then you would actually need 6 gas guys. So all in all, I have a hard time fitting this unit in. But anyways, let me show you how this works. So I can drop these guys. I don't care if my warriors have engaged the enemy. And then use my ability and just sort of run in the mineral line, right? And do a bunch of damage and then get back into the warp prism. Which, by the way, can pick up from a little distance right now. And just sort of go to this way. Now, for defense, they're gonna be pretty decent. I mean, these guys are definitely dead. But, I mean, you know, they're definitely, like, right now, for example, there's one Zergling going to town right here. And these units are completely pointless. So, they're definitely going to be a support unit in an army. But what kind of army I would really see this guy in, I am not completely sure. Now, one other thing to note as well is that it does not deal damage to air units. So, for example, I could use it right now, and it only hits ground. You can see, like, the Warp Prism is not going to be affected by this whole thing. But funny enough is actually that they're not affected by each other at all. I'm not sure if this is, like, meant to happen, though. If they're, like, not supposed to be affecting each other. That might just be one of these bugs. Because they do get hit by everything else in the on the ground. Did it actually hit buildings? Let me have a check. Let me have a look. Alright, gonna activate this guy right here. No, I just hit the probe right there, so nothing too exciting. But this is definitely something that can deal a lot of damage while harassing. But other than that, I don't really know where you want to use this unit for. Because it does seem a little bit random. So I'm gonna put this guy right here, Let's see if we can deal some damage. Yep, we can. But the queen, for example, wouldn't die either. I mean, that we one-shot Zerglings is pretty cool, but at the very least, I think you should also one-shot the queens. So it actually does a bunch more damage, you know? I know the damage is already very high though, so that's gonna be very difficult to balance. Because obviously that would mean that versus Terran, for example, you don't want, like, siege tanks to get one-shot, right? which would be a little bit unfortunate if you clump them up. But other than that, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the units. Out of all the new units that did get added in Legacy of the Void, I would say Protoss definitely got the short end of the stick. And I'm not sure if this unit is really gonna make it into the game, honestly. Like, they are cool, they're fun to use, but right now they just have too much overlap. I mean, sure, the other units that we had in the game, such as like the new Terran units and whatnot, have a little bit of overlap as well. But not nearly as much as this guy, because this guy is literally like a combination between an Oracle and a Colossus. But I don't really see, if I want to make a robotics bay, I'm gonna rather make Colossus than any of these guys, because they just have a lot more utility, and I actually can use them in battles and whatnot. They do have pretty low life as well, if you compare it to Colossus. I don't even know how much a Colossus has, but a Colossus has a bunch more life than this guy. It's only 200 life in total, it's really not that much. And after it's been used, it's pretty much pointless, right? Now, let's see if we can actually kill a Zerg player with this many of the guys. Well, this is gonna explode. I gotta say, that's pretty cool. But other than that, you know, like, right now we have a 30-second cooldown again, and it's like, hey, what do we do now, guys? Are we just gonna stand here, or what are we gonna do? Because even Zergling, like, even drones could kill this in time, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure even drones could kill this before anything else would happen. Now let's hug a couple of these guys. Activate all of the abilities at once. So here we go. Everything's just gonna blow up right here. Which is pretty cool. Not gonna lie, but other than that, I don't really see it. Like, what you could go for, obviously. Let's say we are on 3 bases and I make Colossus and like my standard Protoss army. What I obviously could try and do is like run a couple of... Let's say my main army is right here. And the Terran army is right there, right? So basically the Terran is pushing from this part, or from this point in the map, into my natural. What I could try and do is try and maneuver these guys behind the Terran army. So the Terran army is trying to like engage me here. Terran army engages and the Protoss army is right here. And I'd like sort of boost in from the back and blow all these guys up. That would be a pretty cool idea, I guess. But other than that, man, they're 300 gas, 100 minerals. I'm not completely sure about them. Anyways, guys, let me know what your thoughts on a Disruptor are. They seem a little bit weird, in my opinion, and not completely suitable for the multiplayer. But other than that, I want to thank you guys all for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.